Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the series where we are understanding the system design concepts or system architecture concepts by unboxing a big box that we created earlier. So, we reached to the concept such as DNS, then database, then load balancer. Similarly, in continuation, I want to discuss about proxy. So, proxy is something that you should know in parallel to load balancers. So, proxy is a machine or set of machines that sits between a client and a server or between two server machines. So, role of proxy is to provide security, provide caching, provide uh, uh, load balancing, so and much more. So there are two types of proxies. First is forward proxy, and second is reverse proxy. So forward proxy is something that sits right in front of you when you send the request. So let's say you are part of certain organization or a school and you want to send some request to the internet, and your organization or a school has put up forward proxy which prevents your identity to be exposed to the internet. So forward proxy provides security. It hides your IP address and it puts its own IP address to the ongoing request. So when a request is passed through a proxy, and proxy is designed in such a way that it abstracts the client information like IP address, then the server or the internet does not know which machine the request came from. All it knows is a proxy IP address. So that's why it provides security. Similarly, second use case of a forward proxy is policies. So your organization or your school can apply some policies to ban certain websites or certain tools. So for example, torrent. In your school or organization, banning of certain websites where you download the movies from is put in place. Similarly, nationwide ban, like TikTok is banned in India. So that certain rule is also applied to the forward proxy. So similarly, forward proxy is used in applying some policies to limit the access of the content over the internet. And third use case is caching. So forward, so let's say your school is trying to refer a certain website where documentation is a page uh, where you are trying to get the information from. So let's say you are referring to Java documentations. So what proxy caching does is it keeps the static content on the proxy servers so that it does not have to call the internet again and again, because that particular content is static. It does not it does not change over time very frequently. So this provides a, uh, uh, a certain level of caching at the proxy server. So this is how forward proxy is used. So proxies are generally used to provide abstract out some complexities. Now let's discuss about reverse proxy. So as forward proxy was put right in front of you, so similarly reverse proxy is put right in front of the system. So any system, let's say Amazon.com or any e-commerce website, they have put a reverse proxy in front of their system so that any request that comes from the internet. In this case, we are the requesters. We as users are requesters. We send the request to the amazon.com, and amazon.com has put up a reverse proxy to abstract the complexity of the downward systems, which means that all you need to know is address of the reverse proxy. So why I took the example of amazon.com is because we have multiple servers running behind amazon.com, like orders, product management, and history, and shipping. These are few examples, but there are lots of other components running behind amazon.com, and you just want to refer one component. So you don't need to know which component you have to call to. You just call amazon.com and you say that give me my order summary. So the reverse proxy over here knows where the request should be routed to. So it routes that particular request to the order management, and you get the order summary. Similarly, product management is running multiple servers at the backend. All those servers have different IP addresses. So you as an actor or a user, you do not have to know the information about those IP addresses. All you have to do is just hit amazon.com, and that amazon.com falls to the reverse proxy, and that reverse proxy resolves your request and sends to the particular server where your request needs to be dropped. So this is very extensively used concept, and it is placed in every system, every modern system that you use over the internet. Certain use cases are load balancing, routing, caching, and abstraction of scaling and other operations. So load balancing we discussed, where reverse proxy acts as a load balancer, and it manages all the requests and properly routes it to the servers. Similarly, routing. So as I gave the example of order management and product management, you don't need to know which particular servers are running in the backend. You just need to know what is the address of the reverse proxy, and reverse proxy will do the proper routing. So this is the second use case. Third is caching. So to reduce the load on the server, there are certain static content, and that static content can be stored over the proxy server. And whenever a user requests that particular content, the request does not have to go to the server. Rather, the reverse proxy itself will give you the solution of that particular request. This helps in reducing the load on the server. And this is the third use case, which is caching. Now, next use case is abstracting of scaling and other operations. So, let's say this particular system is bearing heavy load and it wants to scale. So, you as a user, you don't need to bother about those things. So, this particular information of scaling and scaling up or scaling down is abstracted at the reverse proxy level itself. And these informations are hidden from the user. There are certain examples of reverse proxy, and those examples are segregated on the use case basis. Like load balancer, examples are Nginx and HA proxy. Similarly, API gateway, the example is uh, Azure API gateway, or any gateway that is provided by the cloud such as AWS and Google. Third example is DB proxy. Let's discuss little more about DB proxies. So just similar to the concept of reverse proxy, we may we should understand that set of DB servers also have a proxy, And to that proxy, we call DB proxy. Some of the database provide the proxy service out of the box, which means they come along with the database when you deploy a database. But others which do not have this facility of proxy against the DB servers, in that case, we can use DB proxy services such as Proxy SQL. And there are other tools also available in the market. Now, what is the use of a DB proxy? It provides proper connection pools, it provides security, it also provides scalability and improves the performance. So, this is more or less about proxies. And to conclude, where do we put the proxy in our big problem is near, so it can be placed conceptually, it can be placed at two places, right in front of the actors and right in front of the server system. It also is defined by the use cases. Like if your proxy use case is to provide load balancing, then you use the reverse proxy as a load balancer. Or if your proxy's use case is to provide routing, to provide caching, then again it will be placed somewhere next to load balancer, or everything can be put together in one server, and that acts as a load balancer, router, uh, uh, security provider, these things. So that is all for proxies. Let us move to the next section. Thank you.